Was Idaho suspect Bryan Kohberger posting in chat rooms? Seems the answer is yes. And what do those posts seem to do? Paint a picture of someone who's depressed, arguably troubled. And I want to read you some of the basis for that suggestion. Everything I've ever done makes no sense. How did things get this way? I'm stuck in this void of nothing, feeling completely no emotion, feeling nothing. I feel dirty, like there's dirt inside of my head, my mind. I feel no self-worth. I'm intelligent, but I feel the opposite. Why do they believe this is him? Why do people believe it's him? Because the picture that's posted as the profile picture is quite apparently him. I am stuck in the depths of my mind where I have to constantly battle my demons. Am I here or am I fake? Now I look in the mirror and I see this sickly, tired, useless, and stupid man in the mirror. He is a complete disgrace. He doesn't even deserve to live. These will be taken as my words, but they are not. I remember when I was 15, I would wander alone at 2 a.m. Everything was so generic. Nowhere felt like home. I saw things that were not there, a different reality. I felt eerie and alone. I died during those nights. I felt like a criminal, but where was my record? One more. It is as if the ringing in my ears and the fuzz in my vision is simply all of the demons in my head mocking me. I fall asleep, but I wake up quickly to bloody screams. Is any of this here? Am I brain damaged? No, all caps. Then why am I like this? Now, are they the musings of somebody trying to impress people online? Are they deep truths about somebody who's agonizing with their own self? We don't know. But the more that you can develop around this person that the police accused of such a heinous crime, the better in processing what they will present to you about him. Now, let's bring in some experts who can process all of this as it comes through much better than I. High-profile criminal defense attorney Mark Geragos, retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer, and Larry Kobylinski, professor emeritus forensics, John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Very important tonight because I also want to cover the missing mom in Massachusetts' latest findings. They have a forensic nature to them. Larry is perfect and always welcome to weigh in on everything. So, Jennifer, to start with you, this persona of him that develops around what you hear from the podcaster and the woman who believes she went on a date with him, and these different posts, the profile picture, would be weird for somebody to put up clips as far back as these were using his face if they weren't him. Do they mean anything to you as an investigator, or is his personality secondary?
Well, it's secondary to the evidence of the crime, but it's certainly important. Although motive doesn't have to be established, everyone wants to know the motive. Just even in the public, I can't tell you how many DMs, how many people just want to know why. And these writings give us a reason why. This is a very troubled individual.
Not troubled enough, though, Mark. You know, the idea, the suggestion from television of, well, he should plead insanity. That's all. It's not that easy, is it?
No, it isn't that easy at all, and that's certainly, pleading insanity is not a ticket to anywhere. I mean, you can have people who are, to my mind, beyond insane, and it still doesn't, you know, it's very rare to have them find not guilty by reason of insanity. But these musings, even if they are his, I can't tell you the number of cases that I've had where there's been somebody who claimed that this was my client and these were his musing, and it turns out it wasn't, or there was some other explanation for it. I think at the end of the day, what the kind of sweet spot of this case is going to be, do they have sufficient DNA evidence that links him to there, and do they have other circumstantial evidence that's going to point him there? Because they don't have, ultimately, at the end of the day, some judge could rule that a lot of this stuff is completely irrelevant or highly prejudicial, and it's not probative and it's not coming in.
Well, hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.